Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this awesome wooden house on the water. I have also designed the inside for you, which you'll get to see if you make it to the end of the video. Here is the amount of space that we are roughly going to be using, a 10 by 13 block area. 10 blocks extending outwards from our cliff and 13 blocks wide. The important part about this isn't necessarily the amount of sea space that we are using, because of course, there's a lot of water. It's finding a cliff that is wide enough and flat enough for our purpose. It's better if you find something that doesn't have too many parts that kind of like extend out in weird ways. If you can find something relatively flat like this, you'll be perfect. Here are all of the materials that we are going to be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. So step one, ladies and gentlemen, if you did make the grid, which I have now destroyed because it would get in the way, you're going to want to start in the back right hand corner of the grid where it connected to your cliff face. Begin by placing about 7 birch slabs extending outwards from your cliff face. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to extend that 7th block down 1, turn it into a plank, and then extend the plank left by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to turn that 6th block into a plank, and then you once again want to extend it left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to extend that down, turn it into a plank, and then you want to extend all the way backwards and connect to our cliff. Feel free to extend outwards more if you want a larger house. So now that we have this, we're going to grab the birch fence, and we want to place 2 birch fence on top of the corner and middle birch planks that we have in our platform. We then want to place birch planks on top of the birch fence. We want to join them together left to right like this, and then we want to extend each of them backwards by 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. The significance of this is that we can now grab our spruce wood planks and we can place 4 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 spruce wood planks on top of the back pair of birch slabs, and then we can join them together. So we can join both of the rows of spruce together like this. And now that we have that, we can take the top left hand corner of the spruce shape that we've made, we can extend it 1 row towards us like this so it extends outwards, and then you can place 2 spruce planks on top, so that's 1, 2. You can extend the 2nd plank to the left by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to extend down 2. 1, 2. Extend all the way to the right. And then you can fill this area in. As easy as that. Nice and simple. So what have we done there? We've actually made the platform that houses the larger part of the house, and we have made the smaller part of the house simultaneously. I would now recommend extending the sides of both of those parts of the house backwards to connect to your cliff face. When I said earlier that if you want, you can extend the platform further out from our cliff face, that will give you a bigger house. This is the reason. So if you were to extend further, obviously the house would be longer, therefore you got more space. But don't let that stop you if you do want to have a bigger house. I'll show you a little trick that we can use a little bit later on. So this is what we want to have so far, and this is rather important. So we're going to focus on the part of the platform that is going to house the larger room of our build. We want to extend the birch slabs backwards, and we want to join to the cliff face. Inside of this, we want to place stripped spruce logs. These are going to basically be our floor for the inside of our house. I specifically want you to place them this way, so extending from the cliff outwards, so that you get some exposed log. It's a pretty cool look, and you'll have something which should look like this. I want you to also place birch fence in this position, where we have the middle row of birch fence. Place 2 additional birch fence extending upwards and through the birch plank. Place a birch plank on top of this, and then extend the plank backwards to connect to the house. But you're also going to want to extend that plank to the left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can see it kind of like overhangs. And the next block, we should have extended 6 because the 6th block wants to be a birch plank. So extend left by 6, turn that 6th block into a plank. What we then want to do is just connect this top to bottom using a row of birch, and in doing that, quite honestly, what we can then do is, now that we have all of these outer rows of birch fence, these want to connect down into the ocean. So however far this might be, I'm hoping not far, right? Oh, good. It's quite shallow. So extend these down. If you are unlucky, when I designed this build in Java, I had to extend down really far. Like, the sea level was really deep where I extended it. It was like, how far down do I go? I don't even have enough fence for this. Like, but luckily we're in kind of like some sort of like coral reef, so it's quite nice, and it's nice and well lit as well naturally, so that we can see the fence extend down further into the ocean. So it's really nice look. What else can we do? Well, we can add stripped spruce logs to the lower platform. So this lower platform is, of course, the part of the platform where we would typically get to our house. So this house is really meant to be reached via a boat. It's meant to be reached by sea. So obviously that isn't the only thing that isn't the only way that you can get to the house. That isn't the only way to do it. But in my mind, the only way to get to this, despite the fact that practically it doesn't work this way, is by boat, and there's not really a need to like be able to get up and down in any way, shape or form. Which leads me on to this next point. We have a dock. So the dock, we're going to knock out these 2 birch slabs that we have here joined to the end, and we're going to place, let's say 1, 2, 3 rows of stripped spruce logs, and then we're going to place birchwood slabs around this, and that will be our dock. Simple as that. We can chuck a birch fence on the end corner here, or maybe even the opposite side here, so that it's not so it doesn't line up there, so it's a little bit more abstract than symmetrical. And this is where a boat could be tethered to the end of the platform, and that's what I mean by, like, we're not going to have any other way to get to here. Of course you could climb down the mountain and access the house via that way, but not intended. So what we're going to be doing next, well, we have to devise a way for us to get up into the house. There is actually a very clear way in which I want you to do that. Grab yourself the spruce wood stairs. The spruce stairs are going to, if basically you take the middle birch fence here, right? So behind it, you move out 1, 2 blocks here, place the spruce stair. You then want to place an upside down stair behind it, regular on top, upside down behind it, regular on top, chuck a spruce plank in the corner, and then we want to place, extending backwards now, upside down spruce wood stairs, regular spruce wood stairs extending back, backwards, regular, backwards, regular, and now we have it. So this should actually connect to some pre-existing stripped spruce logs, which I haven't placed yet. We also have to place some birchwood slabs extending aside this staircase here to join to this birch plank that we already have. So let us place these stripped spruce logs now, and we're just going, I'm just cleaning things up a little bit. Like if there's a stone in the way or something like that, I'm going to get rid of it, and we can place these underneath here. Nothing else really has to be done to this part. Like this is fine, other than the fact that you may want to place a bit of fence around it so that nobody falls off. I would probably fall off. and we can also stick a birch fence here if you like, or this can be like a quick way to get down. So it depends whether or not you want that or what. We have to have an entrance out onto this balcony. This is on the right side, and we're going to have an oak door. Left of this, we're going to have a small window. That's going to be a glass pane with oak trapdoors either side of it, so you have to have enough room. We have to be able to have a roof here. So we're just going to make the edge of the roof. The edge of the roof is made using birch stairs like this. So the birch stairs are just going to sit on the two ends here. We're going to have upside down birch stairs extending inwards. Then we're going to have the sideways birch stairs just like on top, and then upside down, just extending inwards gradually until we can place birchwood planks between them and then flare them up using a birch slab. We can then fill underneath the roof in using spruce planks like this. Spruce slabs would also work, of course, you'd have to double up on them. But that is what we want to have, and you can see that's a really cool part of the house. Speaking of other cool parts of the house, we have this portion of the house. So we're going to place a doorway very much on the right side of the house, similar to what we did on that side. We're going to leave a gap of one, and then we're going to have this time a double window. Now the double window is actually going to go down to the ground. We're going to fill it in with glass, and then we're going to place oak trap doors either side like this. Perfect. We can stick some birch fence going all the way around the birch blocks, and we will have something which should look like this. The roof to this is actually different to the roof up above. It's the same design, but it's sideways. So we'll run a row of birch stairs hanging off the front, top of the side of the house, and then the idea would be, let me show you, the idea would be to slowly but surely build up stairs in such a fashion that it would eventually connect up. So I don't really want these stairs to come quite as high as the roof on the left, if this makes sense. So we have this roof on the left, and then I'll probably, like, once this is one row off, I think is it one row off? I think it's just below the slab. So what we can then do is we can just start extending this down, and depending upon, I mean, honestly, like, depending upon the shape of your cliff, like, you're quickly going to connect back to the cliff anyway. So it probably shouldn't matter too much. But I don't want the side roof being higher than that side. And yeah, that's actually fine. That will work nicely. We can fill these spruce planks in just underneath here like so. Back to back, here. That's looking really good. I'm very happy with that. This roof and this roof want to join together on the sides, so the first couple of rows of roof won't get in the way, but then you're going to want to join them together like this. Luckily the roofs aren't very big, so this isn't complicated whatsoever. It's literally about just making 90-degree bends, which, you know, it's like an L shape pretty much, just to join together. And this is the perfect height for that part of the roof, because that is still ever so slightly bigger, which I want, and this side of the roof is ever so slightly smaller, which I want. So we can place here, and then we want to place the birch stair. It's very tricky. So here, yep. Okay, slow and steady, I guess. So here. This wants to line up with, like, this will go through here, if you can imagine. So here, and then this would, actually no, that would go here. So maybe I missed that row just a little bit. So hang on, you'll see what I mean. So this wants to act as though it'd go like straight through, and then this would go here. Perfect. So there's a little gap, but it doesn't even matter whatsoever. We can do this side of the roof as well. Well, I was supposed to keep going with the stairs. I placed one, but then the other stairs were like, I'm not following you into battle. So we can extend these across here. We just have to do a birchwood slab. So now that everything is connected together using birch stairs and birch slabs, we now have a pretty good foundation of our house. We're actually kind of almost there. So what are we missing? Number one, we need an entrance into the house. So we have our stairs. The entrance can go anywhere along here, it's up to you. You can have a double door, you can have a single door, you can do what you like. As long as there's an entrance into that part of the house, that's fantastic. I also want to have a small farm down below here. This is quite essential for me. I really want this. So for this next part, we'll need lanterns, we'll need oak trapdoors, dirt, hoe, and any kind of plantable thing that you want down here, pretty much. So the farm is pretty simple. It's just going to be loads of rows of dirt, just kind of like sandwiched into this area here, really. In the version that I made on Java, I actually had a little bit less room, so I'm not even sure what to do with all of this room now. And I'm just going to plan. I've got all of this dirt. I'm going to place oak trapdoors around it like this. I mean, we could even reduce the amount of space here and it would actually look a tad bit more interesting. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So we've kind of like got this giant planter, and the idea would be to hoe it and then chuck some carrots in it. But depending upon whether, I mean, obviously it's more practical to have a larger farm, but if you do kind of want to make it look as though that you've got a little bit perhaps less space than you actually do, then you can mold and change the shape of the hill or mountain, and you can kind of like extend it out a little bit like that, like it looks a little bit more interesting, depending upon whether you're going for looks or practicality, you know, function or fashion. But anyway, let's chuck a, whoops, my bad, let's chuck a lantern down here so that we've got light, otherwise things won't grow. We can place some carrots. I really like carrots for some reason, like just the color of the orange, and just the way that the stalks of a carrot? I don't know what you call the upper part, to be honest. Maybe the stalk, I don't even know. The way that it looks when it's all grown, it just looks kind of cool. And then you can use this area on the side for anything that you want. I mean, as I said, like if you want to shape and mold the mountain a little bit more, then you could. If you wanted to add a staircase that perhaps took you all the way up here and around here, then you could. You know, many possibilities. But pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, we've done this part of the house. I mean, there's actually no more. The only thing that is left is the inside of the house, which I guess I'll go away, I'll decorate for you, and then I'll be back in a second, because everything else is done, ladies and gents. Back in a second. So this is what the house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. So there are actually a couple of changes to the outside. Number one, I've placed a load of lanterns around the house, so I've hung them off the sides of the roof. I placed one or so around the fence that kind of like goes around the balconies. It just improves things a little bit. I have also tethered a boat to the end of the dock. I've grown the carrots, and that pretty much concludes what has happened outside. But inside, here's how I have things laid out. So, of course, you enter the house via those stairs. Inside the house, I haven't really dug too much far back into the cliff, but you can, if you wanted to make this a lot bigger, by the way, you can just keep digging and digging and digging in the cliff, so you've kind of got like a semi-hidden underground-ish cliff base along with your like house on the water with a dock and stuff. So anyway, the way that I've decorated the house is immediately to the left we've got a double bed, and we've got a chest, and we've got a lantern, and a little bit of decoration. To the right of me I have a little brewing area, which is really cool. We've got loads of decoration on the walls. We have access to our little balcony here as well, which is cool. And something that I like as well is that we can kind of like just walk off the balcony and walk like right around and then just like back into the house. I don't know why, I just kind of like that. The lower part of the house, we actually have a set of ladders which kind of like breaks through that small part of the house into the large part of the house, which we have just a lot more of a condensed area. So we have a pretty extensive enchanting area. We've got a place to store armor. We've got all of our crafting implements hung up on the walls. We've got all sorts of furnaces stacked around us. And of course, this goes without saying again, hopefully, is that you can dig and dig and dig into that wall if you wanted to have like a huge base. So that's completely up to you. And of course, this culminates in the fact that we can just walk out onto this balcony, and well, that's kind of everything now. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps the channel out and the video out, really loads and loads and loads. If you are new around here and you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, please check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.